Welcome to the Lockdown Economy, a non-profit socioeconomic initiative by the think tank AlterContacts, where we help small business owners to overcome the hardships of the pandemic and reactivate the economy. My name is Julia Skupchenko, and today my guest is Poom Narudee Kristhanin, the CEO of Eureka Global, but the facilitator of Lego Serious Play. Hello, Poom, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you, Julia. I'm fine. Yeah.
So tell me how it is in Thailand. I know. So wait, let me introduce our viewers a little bit to what we're doing today. So this is our follow-up interview, right? The first time we spoke was in June. Now it's December. So a lot of things have happened. Last time you spoke a little bit more about Eureka Global, how its transformation, consultancy, yes, I would say that, in Thailand. And you were telling us about the projects you're doing pro bono with your customers and your clients, the COVID response program, and some collaborations with the local magazines, and some collaboration with Look It, and I think somebody else. So there were a lot of things in the making at that time. And now that I've briefed our viewers, I would love to hear more about what has happened since, and how has your business been going since the lockdown was lifted?
Sure. So after the lockdown, it's just like anywhere in the world, right? Just staying at home and doing everything you can, trying to balance on a tightrope. But since I would say June, yes, June was our first workshop coming back. And it starts slow, so it was like this, and then later on months on, like starting in October, it start to go like that, exponential. So it's like everybody feel, and I'm thankful for the situation in Thailand that we haven't experienced a second lockdown yet. And so we have been, wearing masks and everything. And on the street, people still wear masks, but people feel a little bit safe when we are together. So we are allowed to meet in person, and we are allowed to run workshops. So people feel that, okay, after the lockdown, and we have to reimagine everything together. So it's really, things are picking up. So after what you have said, the fruit of all the work in the making was blooming like sakura after things are a bit open up and people were waiting to meet real person. Thai people are like really connected. So we really miss that. So yeah, and another side is also impact. That's mean a lot of things is going back to the heart. So it's a lot of reimagining the future, but not just the business, but the meaning of the business for the client as well. And another thing is going back to the people where they are like the real asset of the organization. So they are coming back to what are our purpose, our values, our culture. Yeah, so these are things that are coming back with. Yeah, so all in all, things that we have been imagining, like the one with Hello magazine in Thailand, we were imagining like, okay, soon as things better, we want to do big workshop with all the CEOs. And I even questioned them, are we gonna be allowed for even 30 people? And they were aiming at 80 people. And the beginning was like a slow application, but all in a sudden, like, so we are filling the room with 80 people and everybody was really happy. We were glad that we start imagining when things are really impossible. Things were really impossible at the time. Yeah.
It sounds incredible, and it sounds, that you had a lot of faith in the better, in the better to come, and that you were preparing a lot of things, not knowing what's going to happen next. And then suddenly, you know, actually it all came through. I'm very happy to hear that Thailand has not gone on a second lockdown, because here in Amsterdam, we are, in a sense, I think, on the lockdown. And of course that affects businesses. You know, there are no events happening, nothing allowed like that, and no gatherings. And that's why it's especially incredible to hear that you have rooms full of 80 people, 30 people, you're doing workshops, and people order those workshops. So I think the question that a lot of people would wonder is like, how do you keep safe during those workshops? Because I saw some pictures where a lot of people in the room playing with Lego objects, and how does it work out on the safe side?
I would say, so after every workshop, we clean the Lego bricks, and that's to begin with. And we still remind them of a social distance. And when people are outside, like on the street, everywhere, people still wear masks. You would look like an alien if you don't wear one. You can't enter 7-Eleven if you don't wear a mask. So this is a foundation to everything that allow us to be safe and maybe take off the mask a little bit when we are in the same room. But we let people do what they want. Some people want to wear masks, and that's completely fine. We don't like everybody taking off, then you should take, no, it's not that way. But and it depends on the client and depend on the workshop as well. But everybody have the mask ready and the face shield ready. And we still remind people to be mindful about cleaning their hands before and after each session. And of course, alcohol gel, right? And that's important. And and then the way we arrange, we use larger room than normal still. So instead of having one material buffet table of Lego Serious Play bricks, then we have islands of the bricks. So we still try to keep that. Yeah.
So even in a workshop setting, you had to adapt a little bit to how it's going to be, so that everyone in the room can do what they're there to do, to discover the joint purpose, the strategy or the vision, but at the same time make sure that the health is the first and foremost of foremost importance. That's very
Absolutely.
good. All right. And then one other thing that I really like from what you said at the beginning is that it's like blooming like sakura. I think that's a very nice metaphor. So maybe I think one of those projects was actually the Hello Magazine collaboration.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you can tell a little bit more about the history of how that happened, where did it start, and what happened actually.
Okay, so like one day, Hello Magazine contacted us and start telling that they want to do first masterclass. And this is like media disruption as well. Hello Magazine in Thailand is among a few magazines that are still surviving in Thailand. Most other magazines closed down already. So they are trying to continue to create values for their client and expand their brand. So they want to do masterclass, but they are nothing but normal, right? So they want to do it in a special way. So they start to imagine together. So we craft the class and we change a lot, and the number of people is up and down and things like that. But at the end, it was an amazing partnership. So it's give Hello Magazine the seriosities, the gravity of, you know, it's not just something living your life lavishly, but it's deeper meaning than that. And the CEOs, although they dress up a lot, they're coming to the place, but they were serious about reimagining themselves. 2020 is the best year if you could reimagining everything, because the set zero button have been pressed anyway. Are you taking this as an opportunity to grow or not? So a lot of entrepreneurs in Thailand take that as an opportunity to reimagine themselves. So that's how they come together. for the workshop. And there are some other fun part like interview in the magazine or interview in the video. So it was a really fun experience. And we are already starting planning the edition 2 or episode 2.
Edition 2 of that workshop. And so there was a series of masterclasses for CEOs of Thailand. Were they all female CEOs or male CEOs as well?
And we do have male CEO in there as well, although we have a lot of women leaders in there as well. Yeah, so
okay, and
but it's open for all gender.
And so in the course of a few masterclasses, you were teaching them, or you were training them or explaining them how to reinvent what they're doing with their businesses. Together so with
it's more like thinking of themselves as a brand, because they all have history, they all have legacy. How do we put it together in a way that is a little bit more strategic for themselves and therefore impacting their business in a positive way, right? They reimagining themselves, they look at what is holding them back, what do they really aspire to become. So define yourself as a brand was our workshop. But they also have other workshop series that comes together as a big package, and it became a total unique experience for all these CEOs. Yeah, and I also want to mention, because this was just one of the example, but businesses also, because we we facilitate transformation for organization, right? So I observe businesses, the client that were first out was the one who first back in, right? And then almost all of them come back. And I discover that besides coming back to what really matters to them, they would invest in something they could not risk, like the way they align people looking at the future. So they would invest in that. So they tend to make more bangs of their bucks in terms of time and any kind of resource. So we see a lot of that.
So if I understand correctly, then that means that the leaders of the company saw the need to realign the people they have in the company towards a new future, towards the new goal. Because in 2020, everything that maybe the previous strategy was completely irrelevant, that they couldn't do that anymore. And then
absolutely.
And so please continue.
Yeah, so we requested to help the businesses on the strategy a lot. So like we work with a lot of top leaders in different organizations. Some of them are Thai global brand. Some of them are like a family, and they are looking into reimagining the second generation legacy, right? The family is growing so big. They are like one of the 10 big family in Thailand that is growing so big. How can we reimagine together the next legacy? A 3-year strategic plan, and like end of 2020, there's most of the plan end there. So we help, for example, the stock exchange of Thailand imagining the 3-year strategic plan using Lego Serious Play. Yeah,
that's a wonderful combination of tools and a really interesting challenges, because to imagine the 3 years plan at this point in time is, I think, an incredible task. And so, among the people that you work with, that are your clients, that are the participants of the workshops, the people that you've interacted with since June till now, so what is the main mood? How is the atmosphere? Because that's what really is different from country to country, and that would be very interesting to know. How is it in Thailand among the people you interact with?
I would say the first one is like, wow, it's been really tough, and thank you for making it through together, right? And then as an anticipation and the hope of looking forward, because there's a lot of predictions and trends, and nobody really can predict anything. Just like what you say with strategic plan. How could you know for the 3-year strategic plan, right? So that's why we use play, Lego series play, to help them understand or play immersions, right? Different scenarios that might happen to help them imagine what's next, right? So that is a lot of companies were really convinced that they should change the way they look into planning, into do plan, right? So the experience that we have been accumulated, all the client referral has boiled down to this moment where serious people want to reimagine seriously about the future, and play become one of the way that would help them unlock what they have in sort of like break their habitual thinking. Yeah, so that's what I mean by blooming, like, yeah.
So there's definitely a journey from the moment that, you know, it's been tough, we went through it together, to, you know, now let's put our brains together and see what is this new way, let's invent this new way. And that's a really beautiful thing about, I think, the small businesses and business in general, that especially the medium and small companies that have the freedom to reinvent themselves. And then yeah, well, let's see what will be the new normal that we all invent together.
Yeah.
And so one other question I have to you is, surely among all these blooming and wonderful things, there still remain the challenges that are brought about by the pandemic and by the lockdown and by the uncertainty. And so what are these challenges for you, for your team?
I would say because now it's opening up, right? So there's a lot of opportunities. So the challenge is, how do you prioritize which opportunity? Because you are growing, you are obviously growing through partnership and with your partner. So there's a lot of opportunity going on and a lot of areas that you want to make impacts. So which one would you prioritize your energy with? That is something. So that leads to what kind of system, if you think that, if you would say what kind of help I would need, right? So what kind of system that would help me with managing the resource and time to continue to deliver quality, or focus on the quality, because everything, we are a small business, we take care of everything, right? Just like you, Julia, you take care of a lot of behind the scene, while you are at the forefront of helping people imagine as well. So balancing, prioritizing opportunities, and yeah, so this is because now it's like dusty, right? There's a lot of things going on, and people want to create impacts. And how do we continue to weave our business and impact together as one, rather than doing it separately? Because both of them are what really matters, at least for us, Eureka Global. So it's a bit challenging how we design or influence or co-create or connect people in the ecosystem to create business, but also something meaningful and impactful. Yeah.
That's a beautiful thought. I think creating the business and the impact that it makes. I think it's important to think that way, and it's important for all of us to have that always, to keep it in our minds when we do anything. And like you said, prioritizing, choosing what to go for, it's very difficult because there's just so much, and maybe not necessarily the outcomes of each opportunity are immediately immediately visible to you. And so yeah, absolutely. And one last question I have for you. You spoke a little bit about that you need new system. How do you prioritize? But if you were to think of things that you need help with in a more in a more tangible, more simplistic way, because, you know, we have a lot of viewers, and maybe somebody who is watching this interview right now thinking, oh, this is a beautiful company, I'd love to collaborate with them, but what can I bring to them? So what three things, or what things do you need help with right now?
Maybe if you're interested in creating impact and make business a space, a real space for people to grow, then I would be happy to, you know, work with you or bounce idea. Or maybe if you feel that you have some idea to bounce with, especially in the community of Lego Serious Play, right? Sometimes we do a lot of workshop and you need to see things in a different way as well. So I would be open for that as well. This is something when you are experienced, how can you unlearn yourself, right? So by seeing things, same thing from different perspective, that would keep enriching how you do things. Yeah,
absolutely. It does sound though more as an offer of help rather than what you need. But it's, of course, it's exchanging. You know, it can come from them, and it can also come from you. I think that's the beauty of your approach. That it really intertwines. You know, giving and taking. And I'm not going to go even more into that because I heard myself saying it and I thought, oh, that sounds like a cliche. Okay, so I'm just going to thank you very much, Poom, for joining me today, for sharing your insights, for sharing your journey with us and continuously supporting the lockdown economy. And is there anything that you would like to wish to our viewers, to our listeners?
Oh yeah, I have one thing that I want to say. So really have conviction in what you are doing, because when you stick on your values and purpose, then it could give you many different opportunity that you can continue to work with. Like next year, and maybe let's go back to your last question as well. Like next year, we're gonna make our time to work and facilitate to help people in the prison, women in the prison grow. So the partnership for next year gonna be more serious and more formal. So anyone that want to use facilitation for impact or want to contribute in any way with the design, with taking our design to the helping the inmate in your country, I would be really open for discussion.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Poom, and thank you very much for everyone who joined us today. If you would like to connect with Poom, her details will be in the description below this video, and I invite you to connect with her because it could be a beautiful collaboration. Now, on our channel, we have many very interesting interviews of the lockdown economy from different parts of the world: Latin America, Asia, Africa, Europe. So really, we now do it in 8 different languages. So please go explore and find out what are the ideas that you need to make your business grow. And stay tuned. Bye.
Bye.